Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Unikitty's house, aka the Unicastle from the show Unikitty. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very much, and if you're new around here, please consider subscribing and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. Without any further ado, let's get started. So, before we begin building, ladies and gentlemen, here are all of the materials that we are going to be using. So please do make sure that you have access to every single one of those. And once you do, make sure you have enough room to build it. You will require a 21 by 52 block area on the ground. I would actually suggest leaving a little bit more room because we are going to add a moat around the castle. So you're probably going to want to have a little bit more space than this. Feel free to make the grid if you like. And that's it. Please pause the video if you have to. Make sure that you have all of those materials and enough of them. Make sure that you have enough room to make it, even build the grid if you like. And once you're ready, we can begin. So step one, my friends, come all the way to the front left-hand corner of the grid. If you've not made the grid, please just hang in there one moment. Count to the right by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then inwards by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Then that way we're both starting in the same position. So on top of this 23rd block, I want you to place a row of 8 light blue concrete coming up from that position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are then going to go right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want you to place an additional row of light blue concrete on top of the row that you just made. I then want you to extend both sides backwards by 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You want to extend both rows backwards, and then you can even join them together at the back, like this. So as you can see, we are building a little foundation for ourselves. Now, once you have this foundation, so to speak, I want you to focus more so on the right side of the build. Start off by placing 2 rows of white concrete on top of this row of light blue. 1, 2. On the far right side, place 4 pink concretes coming upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go right, up, right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then go down, right, and then down by 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Place 2 white concretes coming down to the ground. 1, 2. And then 2 yellow concretes. 1, 2. Go right of the second yellow concrete by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then extend it upwards by 1 block. And then place 2 white on top. 1, 2. And then place 7 pink on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I want you to extend the 7th block inwards to the left by 1. Up, left, up, left, up, left by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then go down, left, down, left, and then just go all the way down. And you should hopefully find that once you have extended all the way down, you end up with this delightful shape right here. Now, once you have this shape, you can indeed, if you like, fill it in, although we are going to be adding some additional details later, but it's actually easier if we fill it in and then just carve the details into it after the fact. So, On the back end, I would like you to connect the yellow concrete parts together. I'd like you to connect the white concrete parts together. And then everywhere else, connect the pink concrete parts together as well. So all the way over, just connect everything together. And once you have succeeded in doing this side, we are actually going to go over and do a similar thing to the opposite side. So, once you have this shape right here, I want you to come all the way over to the opposite side of the build now. And we actually kind of want to copy what we did on that side onto this side. So, it's not actually that hard. All you have to do is to start off with, extend every outer block towards you by 8. You don't really have to count this out, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you have a benchmark, and you can extend every single outer pink concrete block, white concrete block, yellow concrete block, blue, all of them, extend them all across. This will give us the width of our Unikitty house. So you have to, very carefully, go all the way around the outside of the shape. It kind of looks like a bridge, really. And extend them all carefully across. Now, you don't want to get confused at all and, connect blocks across that don't need connecting. All you really do have to do is just keep it constant with the outside part. So if you just go around like this, and I guess we're in an anti-clockwise fashion, then we will eventually have something that should look quite good. So let's do exactly that. And of course, once we have the body built up, that will allow us to add in the head and the tail, and we'll be able to add all sorts of other cool details to this. Ha, details. Anyway, so also we will have to add additional details to the parts that we've already made, but it's going to be important for us, as I mentioned, to make sure that we have a good foundation first, and do connect the blocks across as well. Remember, you want to do all of the outer blocks, so you will at a certain point get to the inside part, which is slightly uncomfortable really. It feels a little bit claustrophobic, just a little bit, and you want to extend all of these across as well, in whatever manner might be easier. Like, I'm sort of thinking that doing it left to right in this part might be a little bit faster. I'm hoping. It is quite a tedious process, but honestly, there really isn't an easier way to do this. So we'll just extend all of these as well. And we are slowly getting to be at the base of the statue / house on the front. Just got this row and then a couple of rows of white concrete. And the end result should look like this. So that's what I'm talking about, right? You've basically just copied that shape onto the opposite side. And that's all you've had to do. What we now want to do is seal up this side of the shape, like using white concretes to connect the bottoms of the legs together, like just connect it left and right as you did on the other side. And then of course just seal up the remaining area, the top of the body, all of that up with pink concrete. And that's pretty much all you should have to do. From here, I think that we might move on to the tail, because I think that might be an easy part to do. And then we can move on to the head. So now, we should have something which looks like that, which again, looks like some sort of fancy bridge. Now that we have this, I want you to come towards the back of the build. Grab the light blue concrete. On the back of the build, I want you to take this block. So on the back of the build, you take the bottom row and you come one block inwards and you place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 light blue concretes coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You join them together and then you add 6 rows on top of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you just do the same going all the way around. And then after we've added the light blue section, we will be adding a little bit of glass on top of it as well. And then we'll be forming the tail, which is, again, kind of like an arch of some description too, but that'll actually be really, really easy to do. I actually underestimated how difficult this build would be to build. It's actually turning out to be quite easy. Now that we have this blue concrete area, I want you to, on top of any one of the corners, this corner or that corner, preferably this side, this back, like, outward corner, place 8 light blue glass on top of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then extend left 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, left by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go down, left, and then, well, kind of just down again. And you'll end up with this. Now, we want to fill this in, so fill in the side of this shape. And additionally, we are going to extend the shape across and then fill it in once more. So now that we have the base shape of the tail, you can extend it across in any way that you like. So I'm going to extend this back row of the tail across the light blue concrete. And then I'm going to add the outline. And then I think I'm going to fill it in. So I'm just going to copy what we did on that side. It doesn't require too much effort because it's only like 4 or 5 or so rows away from us. So it's actually quite easy to do. And then I'm going to fill the side in exactly how I did on the opposite side. And then I'm just going to fill the top in. And, well, then the tail will be done. And that's the end of this tail. I'm full of awful just puns / jokes today. I'm really... You know what? I should stop. So we're just going to continue to fill in the tail. Just add this glass across the top. Make sure that you don't leave any areas exposed. And you will end up with a nice, big, fluffy, kind of fluffy tail like this. Now, once you have accomplished this, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time for us to do the head. So, the head is quite simple. I want you to come all the way to the front top of the build, okay? If you come all the way up to literally like the top front where we have the beginnings of this long flat row of pink, you want to place a yellow concrete coming inwards diagonally on both sides, if that makes sense. You then want to connect the yellow concrete together. You want to add 1, 2, 3 rows behind it. So you want to have a rectangle like this, or you could, fill in the center as well if you so chose. We're then going to add white concrete on top of this. So you've got a layer of yellow and then you've got a layer of white concrete just like this. And then we're going to extend the white concrete towards us by 4 rows. So out the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And whilst we're here, also extend it out 1 row out of the back, just like this. Easy. What we are now going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we are going to add details to the face. So I want you to, on both sides, add 3 rows of white concrete, like 1, 2, 3, like that. And I want you to fill in the entire rows, like don't just add, like randomly 3 blocks sticking out. You add 3 rows to the left and 3 rows to the right side. So like 1, 2, 3. And this is going to make up the width of the face, just like this. Perfect. And now on the front of the build, we're only going to tackle the front at the moment. I want you to add a row of white concrete on top of the front row of the build. And extend that white concrete left and right by 1 block on both sides like this. And then on the right side where you place the sticky out white concrete block, I want you to place 3 pink concrete. 1, 2, 3. And then 6 magenta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 4 purple. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go left and down. And left and down. Left, down, left. Like this. Place a magenta underneath. And then extend this magenta concrete to the left by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a purple concrete on top. Go left by 1. Up. Left. Up. Left. Up. Left. Go down by 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then go down by 6 using magenta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then place pink concrete coming down to connect to the lower half of the face. So that'll give you something which should look like this, which isn't too bad. I want you to fill in the tops of the ears using purple concrete. So it only requires 3 blocks. You're basically just connecting them like left and right, just like this. I want you to extend the row of magenta concrete left and right underneath the ears to give you a flat surface. I then want you to add a magenta concrete in both of the upper corners of the face. We are then going to place 3 rows of light blue glass coming inwards from those magentas. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And we're going to extend all of those magenta concretes down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I did say extend the magenta concretes down, but I meant to extend the light blue glass down. So extend all of them down by 4 rows. And that will give you something that should look like this. We then extend the 3 middle blocks on both sides outwards on the left and right. So only the 3 middle blocks on the left and right like this. Perfect. What we are then going to do is we are going to add in between the eyes 2 rows of magenta concrete. So 1 and 2 like this. Add a row of pink concrete underneath. Place a single magenta concrete underneath the middle pink. Come down to the bottom of the head now and place 3 magenta concretes coming inwards from both sides. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. Extend the middle blocks upwards on both sides like this. And then fill in the middle using pink concrete. So fill in all of the empty space in between using pink concrete just like this. And that will give us almost what we want in terms of the face. We are just missing a mouth, which you leave a gap of 1 between the nose, you come down, destroy, and then you have a mouth. And, well, isn't that adorable? I think so. Now that you have done that, we are going to make the head all nice and 3D. And all that involves is basically extending the outer blocks backwards until they line up with the white concrete that we placed earlier. Or, if you like, you extend them all back by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every single one of them gets extended backwards by 8. So on the sides, you simply extend back every single one of the coloured blocks. So you have your pinks, you have your magentas, and you'll even have a little bit of purple too. Extend all of them back. It's basically the same thing that we did with the body, right? So with the body, what did we do? We extended backwards all of the outer blocks. And that's exactly what we're doing when it comes to the head as well. That will allow us to give Unikitty her horn. I mean, she is, of course, part unicorn, hence the uni, and hence the horn. So that will allow us to do that, which is really cool, by the way. I really like the little detail up at the top. You guys will see when we actually get to it. I bet that you guys will like it too. And once we are able to do that, you'll find that we have completed a huge amount of this build. We have done so well to make it to this point, guys. Well done. You can give yourself a nice little pat on the back. Or don't. I mean, you know, it depends. Make sure that you're supervised if you pat yourself on the back. You know, sometimes you can get a little bit crazy. So we're just going to extend all of these backwards, which will give us the outline of the head. I'm actually going to start down at the bottom now because it's easier to build up than down, or at least in Bedrock. I don't know about, well, I do know, Xbox One. Oh, good times. Equal speeds for building up and down, left and right. Oh, the times were great. So much easier to build stuff, but hey, here we are. So we just want to, I keep repeating myself, don't I? But we have actually finished that part. So we have extended back all of the sides. You see that we have a nice 3D living area now. And all we then have to do is just connect the back together with the relevant material. So you can see on the sides here, right, we have white concrete. So we connect the white concretes together. And then on the sides we have pink concrete. So we, of course, connect the pink concretes together. So on and so forth until we hit the top of the build. You'll find that a lot of it is magenta, especially when you get kind of towards the halfway point of the head. And then eventually it will taper off into two purple little ears. So you will, I mean, the back of the head looks probably a little bit strange really, but it is what it is. This is kind of the deal. So we want to have something which, oh no, is that, yes, perfect. So that is the back of the head complete, and that's almost the entire head complete. I'd be lying if I told you that that was the entire head complete, because we are missing details. So now that we have, I love that. I love that view. I don't know why. I love that. The mouth just makes me laugh. I want to come all the way up to the top of the head now, okay? So, Unikitty, as we mentioned, part unicorn, has a horn. The horn's fairly simple to make. Grab your white concrete. On the front of the head, I want you to find the 3 middle blocks. Move backwards by 1 row and place 3 white concrete where those 3 middle blocks are. I then want you to extend the left and right sides backwards by 1. And then outwards by 1. And then back by 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Inwards by 1. Then back by 1. Join them together. Fill the middle of this in using light grey concrete. Add a row of light grey concrete on top. Place a single light blue glass on top of the front middle light grey concrete with regular grey concrete everywhere else. Place light grey concrete on top of the dark grey, followed by a layer of dark grey. Take the middle block and place a light grey on top, followed by a grey, followed by a light grey. Now, grab the iron bars and place a single iron bar, the only one used in this build, and then place a yellow concrete on top. And then this part's kind of tricky, but what you essentially want to do is place like a yellow concrete back and behind to the right, and then like one on top. And then you kind of want to have 2 dangly sort of yellow concretes, kind of like that. It's supposed to look kind of like a flag. So like it's kind of like a very abstract shape like this. I'm sure that you guys will manage to do it, but the end result should look like that. So you can see that it's very small detail, very large impact, if you ask me. Well, what else do we have to do from this point? It would be good if underneath Unikitty we actually added a floor of some sort. So I'm going to place a row of white concrete that goes all the way around the shape of Unikitty like this. I'm just focused about the feet area really. I'm probably not going to bother with the tail that much at the moment, but place like a slab of white concrete connecting all of the feet together like this. And then fill the bottom of this in. This is actually part of the little sort of island that we are going to be building this on. So it is fairly important as we do this. So add in all of this white concrete here, and here, and here as well. That's good. Let's do the tail as well. Alright, fill the underneath part of the tail in too, and maybe we'll make it a big rectangular shape like this, but don't go out of the lines, except for the tail, but you know, it wants to be a nice big solid regular rectangle, and then we're going to add some shape to it. So far we want to have something which should look like this, right? So she's basically just sat on like almost like a podium, really, of white concrete. We are now going to extend this one row outwards all the way around. This is important for the shape that we are establishing. So all the white concrete, extend it all the way around just like this. Oh no! Extend forwards. Here we go. There we are. Perfect. On the front of this, I want you to add 2 more rows of white concrete, okay? These rows are one shorter than on both sides, so add 1 and then 2. You can see that it's slightly shorter on both sides. The same can be done on the back, so again, add 2 rows of white concrete. 1 is 1 row shorter on both sides, and then 2 is subsequently 2 rows shorter on both sides because it's, because you've taken 1 off each time. But you guys get the idea. You want to do a similar thing to the sides, literally the same thing. So on the sides, add 2 rows of white concrete, each 1 row shorter on both sides to create a large oval sort of shape like this. So that side, and then of course this side as well. So here, front to back, and then here, front to back. So like a large oval shape like this. Now that you have done that, I want to add the remaining details to Unikitty. So, to turn this into a house, we don't have to do too much. First, we're going to add windows. The windows are of course made out of light blue glass. I want you to find the front middle of Unikitty. It's not actually that hard because it's like where the mouth and the nose is. So you should hopefully, like even if you have to like come all the way up to where the mouth and nose is, come all the way down and you're looking for the second row of pink concrete coming up from the ground. So first row, second row. Destroy 1, 2, 3 pink concretes and extend out the middle blocks on the left and right by 1 to create a plus shape using your light blue glass. On the right and left sides of Unikitty, we want to add some windows. These windows, we want to first of all start right in the middle of Unikitty. So like where the middle is, it's quite easy to see because you've got a row of 5 pink concrete here and it's the third block coming in from either side. And you destroy 1, 2, 3, there we go, light blue glass like this. Or maybe we'll just destroy 2 coming up from the bottom, so like 2, right? And then I want you to do the same going left. I want you to leave a gap of 1, destroy, gap of 1, destroy the same. Do the same on the right side, gap of 1 and destroy, gap of 1 and destroy. And we're going to place some light blue glass in the empty spaces, like this. Perfect. Ha, perfect, because it's a cat. And then we're going to come all the way down here to the back leg, and we want to destroy a 2x2 area in the side of the bottom of the leg, so we want to have quite a bit of light like this. And we want to mirror this on the opposite side. So on the opposite side, we're going to have the same window in the back leg. And we're going to have the same windows. You find the middle, destroy these, leave a gap of 1, destroy. You guys know the drill. And you want to have 5 windows on the sides. This will keep everything nice and bright and light. Some of my favorite words. There we go. And then that is actually a decent amount of detail. So ladies and gentlemen, once you've done that, you have actually completed almost the living space. We just have to add doors. That's the only thing that we're actually missing. So to add doors, as you might imagine, we need a door. And we're also going to need a little bit of a door. And we need light blue concrete for this. So on the front of the build, we are finding the middle blocks right on the front between the legs, right here, like where the glass was earlier. Destroy these 2 blue blocks, place a door behind them, and then create a frame. So destroy the blocks left and right of the door, and then 1 row above, and then place blue concrete around the door like this. So I kind of want to play also light blue. Does light blue make sense here? Or maybe we'll place a glass above the door. That might make more sense, like this. And then that way, there you go. You've got an entrance into the house, and it kind of separates the legs a little bit. You want to do the same thing on the back, except using yellow concrete. So on the back here, we're going to destroy this. place a door right in the middle, destroy left and right and above, and we're going to place a glass above the door with yellow concrete left and right of the door like this. And then that, ladies and gentlemen, will give us our completed house. Well done, everybody. Let's pack up our stuff and go. We don't need to do anything else, do we? Except we kind of do, right? Because we have to make the floating island. Well, it's not even floating, the island, and then we have to add a floor and maybe even some water as well. So well done for making it this far, ladies and gentlemen. You've made an awesome house so far, but we are going to need some lime terracotta. We need pretty much most of the colors of the rainbow, most of them: red, orange, yellow, green and blue, and we're also going to use some water as well. So, how do you make the island, you might be wondering to yourself. TSMC, how do I do this? It's easy. You want to place a row of lime terracotta that goes all the way around the bottom of white concrete that you placed for the platform. That is why we placed a specific layer of white concrete, because I knew that we would use it in the construction of the island. So, your lime terracottas want to join together in the corners like this, and they just want to go all the way around. It should hopefully be fairly easy to do, and it's actually easier to see what you've got to do like this. So you can see it just kind of goes all the way around like that, right? And you add just one layer of that one. Now, once you've added one layer of lime terracotta, I should say, going all the way around, I want you to add another layer of lime terracotta, going all the way around that one. So one row lower, one row all the way around, connecting together in the corners. I want you to place an additional layer of lime terracotta. You see, this will add layers to the island. We don't just want a flat island, we want it to have a little something going on. And that is exactly what we're doing in adding the lime terracotta. And once you have connected it together, going all the way around, as I aforementioned, there we go, hang on, destroyed, there we go, we are going to add a row underneath it. So once you have successfully added one row, I want you to just place another layer of lime terracotta underneath that layer. And you see, that way we're going to get kind of like a cool layered effect. So you're going to see it's almost sort of like a dome, but the island itself is kind of that way anyway. So it doesn't matter that the island shape isn't strictly like random. It actually looks really good and really fine anyway. So you can see we're adding layers, like ogres and onions. This island has layers. Place a row of lime terracotta all the way around now the bottom of the edge of the second row of lime terracotta that you just placed. This will give us the third and final layer of the island, and will also connect down to the ground. So once you have actually connected it all together all the way around, and do notice this is getting slightly longer every time, mainly because it's getting slightly bigger, but that's okay. We are reaching the point in this tutorial where things get very, very easy from this point. So, well, I would argue that this is easy, but you can see more and more layers. But this one we actually want to connect down to the ground, so I'm going to do exactly that. I, myself, would find it easier to add a row on the ground first, and then join it together in the middle, I think. I'm quickly regretting this decision, but that's what I'm going to do. But the point of this is, no matter how you do it, you want to connect the bottom of the island down to the ground. Again, it doesn't really matter how you accomplish this, as long as you do accomplish it. Oh, why is it so tricky? It really is. Come on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it would have been easier to build this from the ground upwards at the start of the tutorial. I didn't want to, though, so we didn't. There we go. So now all we have to do is place a row in between. And you do have this cool layer effect, as I said, and it actually works out quite well because, like, the base is 3 rows high, the second is 2 rows high, the final row is 1 row high, and then you've actually got, like, the platform with Unikitty on it. So it does work out really, really nicely in the end. So we've almost connected it all together. I'm quite eager to show it you. Haha! There we go. Doesn't that kind of pull things together a little bit? Now that does, however, it does kind of look slightly weird, right? It looks weird because we're missing a bridge and we are missing some water around said bridge. So how do we add these two details? Oh, and by the way, we're going to need a little bit of white concrete. So come to the front of your island and dig in the ground 3 rows of lime terracotta that are 1 row shorter on each side than the previous. This is in relation to the edge of the island, as you can see. So you've got this row of terracotta and 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows of lime terracotta in the ground that slowly shrink the shape, like this. Reverse pyramid, everybody. And now regular pyramid. Okay, we then want to, on both sides, well, not on both sides, take the left side here, go right by 1, and then forwards by 1 like this. So we're on this block. And place a red concrete on the ground. From this block, moving forwards, place an upright diagonal red concrete. Go right by 1, and place an upright diagonal red concrete, and go right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a bottom right diagonal red concrete, and go right by 1, and place a bottom right diagonal red concrete, like this. What we now want to do is add the other colours. So coming across the bridge, add a layer of orange, and then a layer of yellow, and then a layer of lime, and then a layer of light blue, and that's it. Oh, wait. How did I do that? Lime, and then light blue. I went multicolored there. Alright, well, you want to have this. If you wanted to, you could make the bridge slightly wider and add the 2 remaining colours. Yeah, 2 remaining colours, which would be magenta. No, purple and then magenta. Yeah, I think. No, it'd be magenta and then purple, probably. But you guys get the idea. Feel free to add that. Anyway, on the end of the bridge, you want to extend the end of the bridge out in the ground. 2 rows. And then add another row that is 1 row shorter on both sides, so kind of like an entrance way. And we just want to fill this area in using white concrete. Now the effect here is kind of lost because I used white concrete for the outline, but that is what it wants to look like. And as you can see, it does make quite a bit of a difference. Like, that already looks better. The other way to make this look better is to add water around the build. Now, this is why I said that you would want more space around the build than the actual outline. But I didn't want to give a number because, like, this is going to be a bit random. But this is what I would suggest doing. You don't have to, but I would. You want to destroy a row starting from the left side of the bridge. And you want to destroy an area around the island that is somewhat oval in nature. It's like a circle but stretched out. And you want to have this shape go all the way around the edge of the island. Okay, so I'm just going to give you an example. You would have seen this at the start of the video anyway, but I want you guys to be crystal clear on this. So, the shape can be random like this, and it can even be a bit larger if you like. I probably will make mine a bit larger, but the idea is you make a random shape around the outside of the island that we are going to dig out and replace with water. Now, this is quite time consuming, I will say that. So, what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to dig out a shape going all the way around the island. It's going to be a big oval, might even be a bit bigger on the left and right sides, widen it out a little bit. I'm going to dig it out, fill it in with water, and then I'm going to show you what this build will look like, because it will actually be complete at that point. So, let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you what this will look like once it's 100% fully completed with this one last finishing touch. I want you guys to do the exact same. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I have added a moat all the way around the build. And I have extended these sides out a little bit as well. On the left and right side, I've just added a few more rows just to give it a little bit more width, but this is what the build should look like in its entirety, and I do hope that you guys also managed to achieve a similar effect. I do imagine that you are still working on that moat. I hope that you started it. It's going to be quite a long process, but that is what the build will look like once it's been 100% fully completed, ladies and gentlemen. And that's it. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very, very, very much. If you are new around here, please subscribe and click the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. And if you do have any suggestions for more cartoon or movie or video game related builds, I'd love to hear them in the comment section. Do leave a comment, leave a suggestion, I'd love to see them. If you do want to make any more cartoon builds by me, or any sort of video game builds or any movie builds, check out the card system and the description below, and I'll even leave a comment pinned at the top of the video too, so feel free to check all of that out if you like, if you want to make some more cool stuff. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.